So what we have here is something a little bit unique. This is a 2023. It's a 1500 Bighorn, but it's the night version of it. So it's kind of like a special edition. Every once in a while, guys will make up a few of these, and they call them buzz models kind of thing. And they're sort of unique and kind of special. So what makes this thing a bit different is effectively with the night package, you're going to get like the black grills, and you're going to get the color keyed bumpers. Comes with cloth bucket seats, so it kind of looks like a sport. But what really makes this one nice is you also get the LED headlights. They've upgraded those. Comes with the LED fog lights in it. Also part of that night edition is all the black badging. I should probably mention that too. So dresses everything off. You also get the 20-inch black rims in there. Now this one has the off-road group, so you get it sits a little bit higher. It's got the raised ride height, same thing you'd see like on a Rebel. It's got the electronic locking rear differential on it, and of course all the skid plates. So you got a skid plate on your fuel tank, your transfer case, your front suspension. Also comes with an extra skid plate on the steering gear on the front. So if you're going to be doing lots of off-road driving, it's going to be good for that. It's a level 2 Bighorn, or level B, I guess. Sorry, not a level 2 Bighorn package. So you get the power driver's seat, you get the 12-inch touchscreen with nav, you get heated seats in the front. Comes with the storage bins in the back. We're going to take a look at those. Power sliding rear window as well. Heated seats, Alpine sound system, subwoofer, all kinds of extra goodies. Power pedals, remote start. It's got a hitch in it on the back as well. Hemi V8 rather than just the standard V6 too. So that's something else that's kind of nice about it. So when you're looking across the front, I'm just going to set my clipboard down again. You can kind of see how the bumpers are all the same color. Now, normally those would be a chrome bumper on a Bighorn, but with the night package, you get this all matches up, right? So it's the same color that blends in really nice. It also comes with the black grille with the little insets that kind of point into the ram, so it makes it stand out. If it was on a lighter color like a red or a white, I don't think it would look as good as it does on this Granite. This is just a great color combination when you kind of match the two up. Across the front, you see it's got tow hooks down here. So these are if you're going to be pulling your buddy out when you get stuck, you can loop your tow rope through here. It's a nice solid tow hook too. They don't have an open C-clamp like they used to in the old days, like on the older Chevys. They all get bended and twisted when you start reefing on them. So this will stand up a lot better. It has a front sensor, so if you're about to run into something, like say you're parking it in your garage, you're getting close to the wall, this will start beeping at you. So it'll let you know before you run into anything, hopefully. These are the LED fog lights that we're talking about. So these got LED bulbs in there, like they're really, really bright. Same with these as well. So your headlights are excellent. You're not going to be wanting to add any extra light bars, or, well, some guys still like to add the extra light bars. I must admit, I do run into a few guys that still like to do it, although you don't really need to. The headlights on them are excellent. On the side, we got the 20-inch rims. These have got the Wild Peak tires on them. These are an all-terrain. They're a little more aggressive than what you would see with like the Goodyear. So if you're doing some more off-road driving, they're a little bit better for that. Got the Hemi logo with the 1500 badge on the side. Inside the vehicle, we got the bucket seats we mentioned about earlier. You can see they're nice seats, nice and comfortable, lots of side bolster support. It's got little tread patterns built into the seat. That's part of the Bighorn package. You can see the headrests are adjustable. Like on the far side, on the driver's side, it's tilted forward. So all you do is you just kind of ratchet these ahead like that, and it gives you a little bit more head support when you're driving. You can just kind of flick them when they pop back up. Little map pockets here for some storage. Dual glove boxes, they just pop open. All right, see this opens up. You got a little tray in here. You can kind of store some items in there. And then down below, got a place here for all your books and all your kind of owner's manuals and everything are in there. The floor mats are all cut to fit. You see how they're cut out around, they're perfectly form fitted to the openings that they have. So everything kind of lays in there really nice. Also, if you take a look, there's tons of mat pockets or storage space in the doors too. So you can put all kinds of stuff in there that'll rattle around when you're going over the rough roads. More storage in here too. Nice thing too, when you upgrade to the Bighorn from the standard tradesman, you get a little bit fancier door panels. So you get the wood with the fabric insets, the metal, so they kind of mix and match the materials to make it look a little bit higher quality. You got a nice grab handle to get in and out on the A-pillar, so you can just, if you're going to need to pull yourself in and out, you can. There's another one on the driver's side too. You can kind of see it up there on the A-pillar, but I don't know anybody that ever uses it. I think everybody just kind of pulls themselves in with a steering wheel. In the back, same thing. We got a bench seat back here with the fold-down armrest. This flips up out of the way if you want. And then you can get 3 passengers, and this turns it into a 5-passenger 5-passenger seating. You'll also notice with the new body style Ram that the amount of room back here is just tons of space. So if the kids are sitting back here, you're going on a long road trip, they're not going to be kicking you in the back, that kind of stuff as they're riding along. They do flip up out of the way, which makes it nice and easy to get into the floor area. If you want to, you could toss those up, throw a foamy down there and sleep on the floor if you had to, if you're in a pinch on a long road trip. There's just gobs of room back here. These do flip up. Inside here you've got some storage pockets. Nice big area to store items. They're bigger than they were on the last generation truck. They still come out, the tubs, so if you want to clean them, you can see it's still got the liner in there, but you can't take these out, and you can hose them down, clean all the gunk and yuck out of it, that kind of thing. So that's what those are for. There's one on the other side as well. Great place to store stuff. If just anything you want to keep in your truck that you don't want to be tripping on, it's a good spot for it. A couple of USB ports back here. That way the kids can plug their cell phones in, charge them, that sort of thing. They've got a set of cup holders there too. Although they'll probably just use the one here in the armrest. But the nice thing about this one, if you look at it, see it's got these it's kind of a little bit wider on the end. The idea is that you could stuff like an iPad in there and turn a movie on so the kids can watch it when you're driving. That's why they made those little divots on the side. Got some map pockets. There's some junk in there. More storage for the kids in the back so they can store some stuff in here. It's got a little spot here for a water bottle. You can kind of keep it in there and keep it from rolling around. Down the sides of the truck, you can see we added the rear mud flaps to it. We did that during the PDI. That'll be included on the price that you're going to be seeing online. Okay, so it includes all those. Also, you'll notice at the back of the truck, it's got the exhaust sticking out the bumper, so it looks real cool. Part of the Bighorn package, the Night, you've got all the badging done in black. It says Bighorn. You have 4x4 on the other side. The Rams logo is all done in black. It has the hitch. So if you are going to be pulling a trailer, you already got the receiver bar to slide the drop bar and everything in. It does have the wiring is all good to go. You got your 4-pin, and then down below you've got your 7-pin. Now, I should mention this particular truck doesn't have the trailer brake controller from the factory, so if you're going to be pulling over 1,000 pounds, you're going to want to get the electric brake controller added. There's two different options. You can go aftermarket, or you can go with the factory one. We can price both out for you, let you know the differences. But just be aware that if you're pulling more than 1,000 pounds, you're going to need electric brakes. And then you're going to have to add the brake controller. It's got these little backup sensors here. You can kind of see the circles. There's one in each corner. A couple there, a couple on the other side as well. Those are the same as the little guys we looked at in the front. Same idea. They beep at you. Tailgate opens up. It's got a little shock absorber in behind the taillight here. What it does is just kind of lowers everything down nice and easy. In the back, we've got some hooks, one in each corner. You can kind of see those all the way around. And what's nice about the pickup box is it allows you to tie your stuff down on those hooks if you got to secure your load. This also, you'll see these little grooves in here. Okay, the idea with those is you cut say a 2x6 or a 2x8 for width, and you just kind of slide it in there. And that way, when you're hammered on your brakes, you can actually put stuff and divide it in place, and it won't be sliding all over the place. So it's a cheap fix to put a divider. You can buy one through parts too if you want to do something a little bit more, looks a little more pro-y or fancy. We sell those as well, and they're a little more money, but you can get them. You can also price them out on our website too. If you just go to our vehicle accessories, you can just click on there and you can price out all the stuff you want. It's got all install prices, so you don't have to worry about adding labor or anything when you get here. Okay, take a look in this side. We're going to take a look at a couple things. These headrests, they fold down. You just press those buttons. Okay, and what they do is the other side will flip down too. So if you don't have any kids in the back or anything or any passengers, you can just lay these down. It'll just give you a lot better visibility out the back windows when you're driving. But yet when the kids are sitting there now, they've actually got some head support for them so they don't get whiplash. Nice big sliding rear window. It's got rear defrost built in. It's power operated, so we can open it and close it from the driver's seat. Got some speakers built in overhead. That's all part of that Alpine sound system we talked about earlier with the premium sound, so you can crank the tunes up and hear the bass and all that. We got power locks, power windows, and power mirrors. The mirrors are power folding. If you just press that middle button, they'll just power and fold in for you. Gotta have the key on, I guess. Let me just turn the key on. There we go. There we go. Now you can see the mirrors folding in. I'm going to press it again, and they're going to fold back out again. So what's nice about that is if you're in a tight parking spot in Edmonton, or you're out 4x4 or whatever, you're getting close to a tree, you can just fold those mirrors in so you get by and keep moving on down the road. So it makes things a little bit handier. On the door, seats on the driver's side are power operated, so that the passenger seat we looked at was manual. The driver's seat is power, so you got power recline, forward and back. You can go up and down with the power seat. There's also a lower back support here. We can put an airbag that'll push that out. Gives you a lot lower back support, makes it a little bit more comfortable. Over here we got automatic headlights. Your headlights are going to automatically turn on as soon as it's dark enough out, which is kind of nice. You don't have to reach down and flick those on. This is your dash gauge, so your speedo, your drive cluster, all that kind of stuff for when you're driving. We got power pedals. We can move the pedals in and out. What's nice about that is if you're fairly short, you can suck the pedals towards you, get a little bit further away from the airbag. The other thing that's nice is you can adjust the pedal. If you're tall like I am, you can put the pedals a long ways away, and that way you can kind of stretch out your legs a little bit and then suck the steering wheel towards you because it's telescoping as well. So you just drop this here, and now your steering wheel goes up and down, and it also comes in and out. So if I put the pedals as far away as they can go, suck the steering wheel as close to me as I can get it, I can get into a real comfortable position. I'm about 6'3". That'll kind of give you an idea of it. But it is a really nice feature because a lot of times I find when I get my legs comfortable, my arms are like straight out, and they're, you're driving, with your elbows locked, it's a bit uncomfortable. Okay, up here we got our control panel for controlling the center dash cluster, which we're going to look at in a second. Hands-free calling. You can activate your Siri once your phone's paired up. If you're using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto or whatever, that's how you would access your information is through there. Over here we got cruise control. Pretty straightforward for that. Gear limiter. Basically what that does is it allows you to select how many gears you're going to let the transmission use. So if you're driving like down a steep hill or something and you want to downshift, all you got to do is hit this button here. Just hit the minus button. Okay. Nice big tach, nice big speedometer. Everything's nicely laid out. In the center cluster, we got all kinds of different things we're going to be able to do with this thing, but I'll just quickly scan it. So you can see at the corners, you got a compass, you got the temperature. There we go, we're running now. You got your battery gauge, and you got your oil pressure down here. All of those are changeable. We can change that screen, We can change the top brand as well. So there's totally customizable. Vehicle information. This basically just tells you anything that's going on with your vehicle. Okay, so it tells you your temperatures, oil pressures, all that kind of stuff. Fuel economy screens. There's two of these. There's a screen A and B. What's nice about it is you can reset the first one and still have your information from the second one. So it allows you to keep track of fuel economy 2 different ways. Same with your tripometer. So you see we've got 9 kilometers an hour. That's why the fuel economy isn't very good. But we can reset that, and we still kept our information on the second screen. Audio sound system. Right now we're listening to Sirius XM Classics. So this is Jefferson Starship. They're singing Jane by the sounds of it. So you can listen to different music. It just kind of shows you it here. So that way if you got your maps up on the big screen or whatever, then you can kind of watch that. Stored messages or like check engine lights, that sort of stuff. This is where we set our screen up that we talked about. I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to change that upper left because I don't usually use the compass. I like to put the time over there. There we go. So now you can see we've got the clock here and the temperature there. So all this is customizable. Bottom line is, once again, I like to mention to everybody when I do these videos that the nice thing about this is if you're looking at this dash and it's not giving you information that you're looking for, chances are pretty good you can change it to do what you want to do. Like there's even one down here, it'll put like how many kilometers your trailer's been pulled and all kinds of stuff. Okay, over here we've got our engine start stop button. Basically all you got to do is put your foot on the brake and hit start and you're good to go. Automatic transmission, 2-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 auto, and 4 low. 4x4 auto is what you're going to want to use on dry pavement when the roads are kind of sloppy and icy. That way the truck decides if it needs to be in 4x4 or not. 4x4 high is what you're going to want to use when you're driving off-road in muddy roads. 4x4 auto off-road is a little harder on the system because it's engaging and disengaging all the time. So it's best to use 4x4 auto as soon as you hit dirt, because that way if wheels start to slip, it can actually get the power can slip out through the ground. If you're in 4x4 auto, you want to use that on pavement, because if you're in 4x4 high on dry pavement, everything kind of binds up, right? So it's a little bit harder on the system. And then of course 4 low if you need like a massive amount of torque for like pulling your boat out of the river, or your buddy's stuck or something, you need a bunch of extra power. Okay, down here, part of this off-road package, you'll see these 2 buttons. You've got an axle lock button, and what that's going to do is it locks both rear wheels together so they turn at the exact same speed. Works up to about, I think it's like 35 or 50 kilometers an hour or something, then it'll turn off. I think it's 35. But you're only going to want that when you're going really slow anyway. But what it does is it just gives you way better traction because both wheels are spinning at the same speed. The reason why you want to disconnect it is because if you're trying to turn when it's on dry pavement, you don't want your back wheels kind of hopping as you turn in a tight circle like in a parking lot or something. You'll kind of feel the back wheels kind of hopping in the butt of your seat, right? So you want to leave that as an open diff. So the only time you're ever going to push this button is when you start going off-road. This here is your select track. So what you do is you put the vehicle in 4 low, and then you adjust your speed settings. And think of it like cruise control for driving down bush trails. So you can set the speed to be like 3 miles an hour, and you'll just kind of crawl through the trails up and down hills, and you don't have to, put your foot on the brakes or anything like that. It just does it all for you. So it makes for a relaxing off-road drive. Nice big touch screen. This is the 12-inch screen. So you got all these buttons here. This is your heat controls, fan, all that kind of stuff. Same thing on this side. If you take a look at the top screen, you got your nav here and your stereo down below. Now, if you want, you can change it. You can do a custom page. Actually, let's just do a whole new page. We're going to add a page here. So we're hitting add a page. And then you can pick your layout. We're going to do a 4-grid layout. Now you add your widgets. So what I'd like to put is my radio here. Down here, I'd like to put my climate control. Over here, I'm going to put my heated seats. And then up here, I want to do something with my phone favorites. There we go. So now you've got your layout set out. And once again, if you don't like it, you can always just go back. If you got a page that you decide you don't want to use, you can delete that page, right? And now you've only got the 2 that we had originally, okay? These are movable. They're changeable. Like if you decide, well, I don't like these here, I want to spin them around, you can do that if you like. You can make them disappear, go away. Everything's customizable. So what's nice about this is instead of having to use these docking buttons down at the bottom, and those are the only choices you have like we used to have on the older vehicles, you can customize everything the way you like it to be. All right, radio stations. You got all your different sources, so you can bring your music in through AM, FM, Bluetooth. Apple CarPlay is another one we got. You got Alexa, USB ports, tons of ways of getting your tunes into here. Probably what you're going to find is, if you're like me, is you're going to pair your phone, listen to Apple Music. You're going to have your Apple CarPlay. It's going to override this phone button down here, and then all your music is going to go through that button. Same with all your calls, text messages. Your Google Maps are going to show up on here, or your Android Maps if you're using an Android. All that stuff shows up here. Spotify, any of that stuff. If you can use your cell phone, download the app, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and then when you pair your phone up to it, it's going to be way nicer. Basically, if you can use your cell phone, you're going to be able to use that. Comfort controls, these are just a digital version of these buttons, okay, so where you want the air to blow, that kind of stuff. It's got an auto mode, so basically just turn it on auto, or you hit this button here for auto, and then just set the temperature that you want. I've got it set at 21 degrees, and it's just going to automatically maintain that temperature in the vehicle. Nav screen, just a big version of the smaller nav that we looked at, okay, so if you're driving, it can kind of zoom in and out a little bit. Makes it easier if you're driving in the city. You can see further ahead, like more streets ahead, so you know when you're going to have to turn, that kind of stuff. So it makes things a lot easier. And this is where you program your truck. So you can decide, for instance, let's just pick one. Let's go into our camera, for instance. Do you want your backup camera to stay on when you start driving, yes or no? If you hit the delay button, the backup camera is going to stay on, I think it's 10 seconds before it shuts off. You can have your fixed guidelines, or you can have guidelines that move, right? So we can go active grid. So now when I back up, I'll just show you here. I'm just going to put the vehicle in reverse. So now when we're in reverse, these are your guidelines. And see how I turn the steering wheel that they're moving? It kind of tells you where you're going to end up. So that's what that's all about. You can zoom in if you want. So if you had a trailer hitch or trailer ball in there, you can see what you're doing. Makes it easier to get to. You can also just access your backup camera through the touch screens if you want to. So all kinds of stuff the guys can get in there and play with. Down here we got our traction control button. You can basically disable your traction control. Like if you want to do a burnout, you just do that, flick that off, and it'll allow you to spin your rear tires. It's good handy to have too, like if you're off-roading. Like in certain situations, you're going to want to spin your tires when you're going around corners and stuff. So that's a button you're going to want to be able to access. Tow hauls, if you're pulling a trailer, you just click that button. It'll change the shift points of the vehicle, change how it shifts, when it shifts, that sort of stuff. Just makes it better for pulling a trailer. And then these, remember we were looking at those little circles on the bumpers for the front and the rear? That just shuts those circles off so they won't beep anymore. So sometimes you'll get dirt and mud, on those back bumper, and then those beepers, every time you back up, they're going to be beeping at you. You can just reach down and turn them off till you get a chance to clean them. The other time is maybe you're hooking up to your trailer, right, and you're backing up and it's beeping because you're getting close to the hitch. You can just disable it there. So, USB ports 1 and 2. We were talking earlier about how to get your music into the stereo system. That's USB port 1. If you had let's say you had like an old iPod or something plugged into it, that's how you get your music in there. A little tray here for some credit cards, that sort of stuff. Down here you got a place for your cell phone. It just kind of sits in here, and then it'll just kind of hold it in place, and then that way it's not sliding all over the place, and you can reach down and touch your screen if you need to. Tons of storage. Got another power point here that we can flick open. Plug a laptop in there if you wanted to. A couple of cup holders, coin holder. This comes out if you want. You can clean it, flip it around, use it like a junk tray. That's what I use for mine usually. Usually it's full of all kinds of stuff. I don't know what it is. This armrest opens up. You got another tray in here, another USB port to plug stuff in, and then a ton of room down here. This goes like way down, so there's lots of room in here for storing stuff. There's actually like a little divider, little things here. You can see this little slot here on each side. What those are for is you buy like, go to Staples and buy file folder hangers with metal ends on them. And they just kind of hook in there, and then you have all these little file folders. So if you want to keep your receipts separated out, like if you're going to be using, say you're using your truck for work and you got to keep your receipts in order, you can just kind of toss them in there, and then, they're separated by the job or whatever you're doing. So it keeps everything organized. Overhead, a couple more buttons we want to go over. This just pops open. You got a place here to keep your sunglasses so you can keep them out of the way. We can open and close our sliding rear window with this button. If I hit that button, the cops are going to show up because there's an emergency, which is kind of nice. So it gives you access to all that. And then up here you've got your dome lights to turn these map lights on and stuff. All right. I think that's the truck. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff, but if you're interested in getting yourself a great-looking truck at an affordable price, this is a great package, this Bighorn Knight. So we'd invite you to come down, check it out for yourself, and go for a spin. Hope to see you soon.